In first 1 hour, we will discuss about HMP, that is Human Microbiome Project. Everything related with omics technology and microbiome. So that will be 1 hour. So the first thing which we want to discuss, that is HMP, Human Microbiome Project, and HUGE, that is Human Gut Ecosystem. We are very much aware, the biggest scientific achievement of mankind till this date, not only the field of life science, but all together, all over field, whether physical science, chemical science, atomic science, or, whatsoever. In all together, all the science, the biggest human scientific achievement was considered when we landed on the moon in 1969. But afterwards, after 2001, it is Human Genome Project. So now, earlier it was, the astronomy, but now it is Human Genome Project, which was completed in 2001. It is considered as biggest human scientific achievement. Acha, one project, as we know, that is going on, Large Hadron Collider in the field of physics, in the search of that God particle and in the search of Big Bang theory and everything. If that project is concluded well, then that would be probably on the top. But right now it is Human Genome Project, and one extension of Human Genome Project was Human Microbiome Project. So we want to, as a life science faculty, we all should be aware of certain things which I would like to share with you. So I'll first share my presentation. The thing which we want to learn, that is about Human Microbiome Project. As I told you, it is something as an extension of Human Microbiome Project. Again, I'm repeating, Human Gut Ecosystem, and how this provides us new avenues in health, hygiene, and immunity. We want to know this. In the center, I have kept that human microbiome, or microorganism picture. So as we know, in our body, there are 10-fold more microbes than our own cells. Probably all of us are aware of it. We have 10 raised to 13 cells of Homo sapiens sapiens, but 10 raised to 14 cells that are microorganisms which are present in our body. We can say that only in our oral cavity, in our mouth cavity, there are more number of bacteria than total humans on earth. So these microbes must be playing some very, very important role with our health. They must be playing important role in our hygiene, in our, in our IQ, in our intelligence, in our mood, in our depression, everything, what we are, because it is 1 plus 10 raised to 13. 1 means it is myself, and 10 raised to 13 microbes, which always I carry with me, within me, on me. These microbes must be doing something very important in my body. To find that, the project was begun, that is known as Human Microbiome Project. Okay, so what is human microbiome? You can read. It's a collection of bacteria, viruses, and all single-celled eukaryotes that inhabit in our body, that are present in our body. So, these microorganisms, as we know, as the fetus which is born, it is sterile. But when it comes out of the birth canal of mother, it acquires microbiota or normal flora from mother's vagina. And right from the first breath, the fetus keeps on getting microorganisms in its body. And science has proved exenic life or notobiotic life, it is, useless. I mean, the life without microorganisms in us, then it is not life, because it would be very, very weak. And most of the the experiments which were done on mice and rabbits, so that animals died in very early age. We were very weak without microorganisms. So our health is attributed to the microbes which we have. Okay, so altogether, we have a lot of microbes in our, alimentary canal, on our skin, in our mouth canal, in our genitourinary tract, in our eyes. They are everywhere. But remember, there is not a single microorganism present in our blood. And if, microbes are present in our blood, we call it blood, then we call it bacteremia. And then that can lead to septicemia. So this is very strange. So this is altogether, phylogram, where we can see that the place of human, you can see we are here, right? But other than us, there are so many living organisms. So directly we'll come to Om and Omics, because we want to discuss the word microbiome. So the words, the fields which all of you have heard and you might be teaching: genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, physiomics, transcriptomics, etc. Phenomics also, okay. So the set of the thing is, is known by the suffix O-M-E, Om. Okay, so gene, set of gene is genome. One protein, but set of all the proteins in the cell, it is proteome. One metabolic reaction, but all metabolic reaction going on in a cell, then metabolome. So, exploration of this, the entire set of the things that we, call by the word Om and omics. So that is omics technology, and this reminds us with the, pious word Om, which probably, most of us are worshipping, that is Om. So we can say that, our ancient Vedas and Shastras, they might have known this Om. આપણે કહીએ ને કે, e-content or e-teaching or e-marriage or e-commerce, but, એ તો આજે છે. But earlier, we have Ishwar. In the same way, the Om is very much familiar to us. Okay, let us see omics. So genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, phenomics, inomics, transcriptomics. You can read the definition. Everything related with DNA sequencing, gene profiling, gene mapping, rDNA tech, that is genomics. Protein identification, quantification, their structural determination or post-transcriptional, that is proteomics. Okay, metabolic profiles and intermediate and hormones and metabolic pathways, that study is metabolomics. Okay, morphological, biochemical and physiological or physical traits which we have, the phenotypic traits, so that science is phenomics. Element profiling and biochemical regulation and elemental interaction going on, it is ionomics. In the same way, everything related with RNA is transcriptomics. So this is omics. Now, quickly, before moving ahead to microbiome, we will say what is the importance of Om chanting. So, our Om is really scientific. I don't want to, divert my talk towards that, philosophy or any kind of, things. But Om chanting is important, scientifically proven, that, by chanting that there is some, some stimulation in our auricular branches, in our mind. The treatment may be used to, give away depression and epilepsy. You can see that before and after Om chanting, there is, entire mental pressure released and so many things are there. So it is something very much scientific, and the shape, alpha and omega, which is a mixture, which is found in Allah also, which is found in Chinese also, and it is found in Hindu Om also. So that omega is something very important. So Om is something important. So we can say microbiome. Okay. Anyway, we'll go ahead with our microorganisms. So in our each and every part of our body, microbes are residing. Anthony von Leeuwenhoek earlier told, that this animalcules, they are in such enormous number in our, each and every part of our body. So father of microscopy, Anthony von Leeuwenhoek, and according to him, we are not alone, right? Our teeth, even though I keep them very clean, but if I observe them with magnifying glass, then there are, a lot of organisms. Every day we clean our tongue, and every day we try to remove the microbial colonization, Streptococcus salivarius. Every day they grow. So we have very much close relation with microorganism. Earlier, we estimated the total number of microbes present in our body. It is 10 times more than our own cells. Later on, that estimate in 2014 by American Academy of Microbiology came that human cells and microbial cells are in proportion of 1:3. Okay, fine. And in 2016, National Institute of Health data, it is 1:1. So total number of human cells and total number of microbes are approximately equal in our body. But remember, my dear colleagues, even if the last estimate is true, there is huge importance of microbiota in our body. Even though they are equal like Homo sapiens, then also they are very, very, very important. Okay, because particularly the identity and degree of diversity of these microbes, they are playing very important role in everything we do, in our health, in our disease, in our susceptibility, everywhere. That is very, very important. All the participants, I'm going on with my talk, my presentation, but if you stop listening to me, or if there is any lack of connectivity, or if you want to say anything or ask anything, you can definitely interrupt me and say your word also. Otherwise, I will keep on talking about my point. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Om and omics. So genomics, proteomics, metabolomics, physiomics, right? And this is our Om. This is our Om, Okay. All these definitions of omics technology, which I was telling to you. And this is neurohemodynamic correlates of Om chanting. This you can see, and this is the difference before and after. And this was, as I was discussing, that alpha and omega, which are seen in, Hindu or Christian or Chinese or, Muslim religion, that Om I was talking to you. So, better to say microbiome. And we are proud of that microbiome. This is human microbiome, gut microflora, Anthony von Leeuwenhoek's word, which I, shared with you. I hope that now we are getting each and every slide.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the total number of microbes, even though they are 1:1, they play a very important role. The total number of genes in the microbiome exceeds the number of genes in the human genome by a factor of at least 200. So around 30,000 genes are identified in human genome. The total number of microbial genes which are present in our body may be 200 times more than our own genes. So you imagine the importance of that microbial genes which are present in our body. And altogether we can say that even though bacteria, they are 1/10 or 100th size of human cell, but they account for around 2.5 kilogram of our body weight. Okay, so there are about as many E. coli in your gut as there are number of humans on earth. So they must be playing important role. Which role they play? Are they friends or are they foe or something else? See, they can act as predators. They kill our cells. They kill other cells also. So one microbe, for example, bacteroids or bacterivorous bacteria, they eat other bacteria. Okay, some microbes act as prey. They are eaten up by others. Some act as producers. They make vitamins or chemicals for us. Some are decomposers, and they decide our health in all the aspects, in all the ways. So we want to make certain words clear. Words like genome, hologenome, microbiome, epigenome, etc., etc. Okay. So one thing is very clear, that all animals and plants, they have symbiotic relation with the microorganisms. We will see the definition of each word mentioned above. First word is microbiome, as I told you earlier, so I will not repeat, but they are all the microbial communities present in our body. Then there is a word called metagenome. The collective genomes, the word metagenomics. If we take a soil sample, then there are n number of microorganisms in the cell, in the soil. So analysis of all that genomes is metagenomics. So natural samples like soil or wastewater or human microbiota, they have n number of microorganisms. So analysis of the genes of all of them is metagenomics. So what is metagenome? The collective genome, collective genomic components of the microbiome. Okay, and that can be estimated by random shotgun sequencing of the mixed community. And nowadays, metagenomics analysis takes only 1.5 days. Earlier, the analysis of a single genome was probably taking more than a decade. Ek genome analysis, more than a decade. But now metagenome analysis, less than a day, you can say like that. Okay. The word is hologenome, another word. So genome of the host animal and our metagenome, collectively called hologenome. So my dear participants, remember our genome, Homo sapiens sapiens, plus all the microbial genomes, all of that DNA, total of that, it is hologenome. So, what am I? I am Mehul Dave, but I am with my 10⁻13 microorganisms. So collectively, that is hologenome. So who are we? That's the question, question of thought. Okay. So hologenome concept of evolution is also very, very important now. Because we are not evolving, our microbes also inside us, they are also evolving with our food and our lifestyle, aren't they? Our food changes, so our microbiota also changes. Okay. So altogether, host plus our microbe is one ecosystem. And we argue that changes in the phenotype due to exchange of symbiotic partners can be usefully, categorized, analyzed to changes in the phenotype due to changes in the genotype. So altogether, these microbes play important role in our day-to-day life as well as in long-term course evolution. The word holobiont, most animals and its microbial associates. So we plus our microbes are holobiont, and my genome plus my microbe genome is hologenome. So remember the word hologenome and holobiont. So actually we are not we are holobiont. Whatever am I, actually I am due to me plus my microbes. This is very important, right? So two animals with identical genotypes but different microbial associates could be different holobiont. So two, identical twins, they have similar genotype. Their genomes are similar, almost 99.9 or even more than that. But if they are, growing in different conditions, if they eat different food, they will develop different microbial flora in them, and so that they are different holobiont. Okay. Now see, the microbes which are present in our body only, this is the picture which tells you everything about the normal flora of our alimentary canal, large and small intestine particularly. So wide variety of bacteria, archaea are also there, viruses are there. In that, DNA viruses are also there, RNA viruses are there, and certain giant viruses are there, and single-celled eukaryotes, and certain multicellular also. Okay, fungi are there, amoeba, flagellates, coccidia, ciliates, nematodes are there, worms are there. So huge number of entities which we carry in our body. So we estimate that there are 10 million prokaryotic species in the world, but in 1980 only 1800 were known. In 2020 only around 20,000 are known to us. Okay. So now the question is, what is important? Genome proportion or genome richness? Answer, both are important. Both are important in our health. Now slowly we will come to composition of human microbiome and its role in our health. See, around 1 to 2% of our body is our microbiome. Okay, many of the organisms that make up human microbiome have not been successfully cultured, so they are non-cultivable microorganisms. Okay, so they are alive, they are living, but non-cultivable, uncultured microbes we call them. That includes, majority of them are bacteria, then archaea, yeast, single-celled eukaryotes, helminths, and viruses, and all of them are there. Now, this slide is really interesting. Do you see the slide? Oily, moist, and dry parts of our body. Now, see, that is very, very important. You can, the list of the areas of our body are mentioned. You can see some of the areas are oily, like, our, glabella or auditory canal. Some of them are moist, like nair or, antecubital fossa, and some of them are dry, like our volar forearm, etc. Now, correlate to that part of our body, what kind of microbial associations are there that is shown. See the kingdom in that dark color, okay, orange or maroonish color, that is bacteria. Light orange color is eukaryote, and cream color, that are viruses. So based on that slide, can you guess, can you tell me where do we find maximum number of viruses in our body? Normally, where do we find maximum number of viruses in our body? In which part of our body? Will anybody read out that for me? The color of viruses in the nair, in the nostrils. And, in this corona era, we know very well how to take care of our nostrils. We take steam and vapor to kill certain viruses, right? Okay. And can you guess or can you tell me where the maximum number of bacteria are there? So you can probably say it is toe web, where maximum are bacteria. Okay.
Toe web space, yeah.
Yes. Now the second column is distribution of kind of bacteria. Which kind of bacteria are there in which part of our body? So you can see mainly three are explained here: Propionibacteria, then Corynebacteria, and Staphylococci. Mainly Staphylococci, they are present on our skin, and other kind of bacteria are also shown. Propionibacterium. You are all probably aware with our pimples, Propionibacterium vulgaris, that causes the disease known as acne vulgaris. જેને આપણે ખીલ અથવા pimples કહીએ છીએ. So there, the genus that is Propionibacteria and fungi. Okay. So this is very beautiful. in which part, which kind of microorganism in the front side of our body and in back side of our body. That is beautifully shown. And see this, the number of and importance of microbiome by the number. See, around 90% of the diseases, which are occurring in our body, they are one or other way connected to our gut and microbiome. Okay. And around 10 to 100 trillion number of microbial organisms are harbored by us, and they are 10 times more than our own cells. 22,000 approximate number of genes are there in human gene. Okay, that ranges from 22,000 to 30,000 based on their functions. But percentage of individual humans are different from one another in terms of microbiome. See, 80 to 90%. So each of us are unique as per our microbiome. So you can see the left side proportion, 99.9% similarity in our genome, but we have only 80 to 90% similarity in our microbiome. So, that is really important. So we can say that on our health, more than our genome, there is a role of microbiome. આપણી health ઉપર આપણા genome કરતા પણ આપણી અંદરના microbes, they play something very important role. Okay. See, so which are the aspects that make our microbiome unique? Based on our lifestyle, the microbiome is defined. Based on our host genotype, it is defined. Host physiology. Our immune system will also define what type of microbiome we have. Transient community members, which are coming from outside, they also may decide our long-term flora. Host environment where we live, that defines our microbiome, and our pathobiology also defines our microbiome. And our microbiome, mind well, it defines our health. Now we'll come to HMP, that is Human Microbiome Project. The aim was to map the entire human microbiome. The project was sponsored by NHGRI, and it was part of National Institute of Health. The project started in 2008, as an extension of Human Genome Project, and that this project is going on today also, right? Because the complete analysis is yet to be done. The purpose of this HMP is to study, human as a supra-organism. So we are supra, we have so many sub-organisms in our body. And in this project, around 300 healthy people over different time periods, they were taken as volunteers, and their microbiome samples were analyzed. Which body area were sampled? To answer, skin, mouth, nose, colon, and vaginal flora. These microorganisms were checked. So this project was under NIH. આપણને ખબર છે કે Gene Bank or NCBI is also under NIH, National Institute of Health of US government. Budget was around $170 million for this project. For 5 years was the planning, but the extension of this project is going on. It's a roadmap for finding out role of microbes in our health, nutrition, immunity, diseases. Okay, so it's a logical, conceptual, and experimental extension of Human Genome Project. Okay, again, my dear participants, you can stop me anytime if you wish to. Okay, now the goals of this project. What are the goals of Human Microbiome Project? See, to develop reference set of sequences of, all the microorganisms. Okay, provide information about disease. To develop the technologies and tools for all computational analysis. Okay, to establish data analysis and coordinating center, to establish research repository, to examine all the LC, ethical, legal, and social issues. Do you feel so? Okay, are there any social and ethical issues? Answer is definitely yes. There are a lot of ethical, legal, and maybe social implications, but that is not our, discussion of today. So we'll move ahead. And to evaluate multi-omic data related with human microbiome. To break down artificial barriers between medical microbiology and environmental microbiology. Okay, ultimately to associate differences in community. So, we many times, define our intelligence based on our caste. As such, practically we say that this should not be. Okay, but many times, there are, caste bhuli jao, but based on our food habits, there can definitely be differences in our thinking, in our, mood, in our intelligence. Okay, કદાચ કાસ્ટ વાઇઝ આપણામાં ડિફરન્સીસ ન હોય આપણા ઇન્ટેલિજન્સમાં, પણ આપણી ફૂડ હેબિટ વાઇઝ તો ડિફરન્સ છે જ. And in each family there is a unique set of food eaten. So from family to family, the food habits and lifestyles are different. Therefore, family to family, caste to caste, maybe Microbiomes are different. Therefore, caste to caste or family to family, the intelligence, the habits, the hobbies, the IQ, everything is going to be different. Believe me. Now, what questions may be answered by HMP? So, first is how stable and resilient this flora is. Is it really stable? આપણે એક એન્ટીબાયોટિક લઈએ એઝિથ્રોમાઇસિન અને એ ફ્લોરા બદલાઈ જાય છે કે સ્ટેબલ છે? That is one question. How similar are microbiomes between members of a family, members of community, or across community? That is also one question to be answered. Okay, do all humans have a core microbiome which is common in all of us? That is also one question. What affects the genetic diversity of the microbiome? And what affects the adaptation of microorganisms? And, our different lifestyles, or, physiological and pathophysiological state of our body? Why this project is important? Answer, based on this project conclusion, we can find out our susceptibility to disease, how, this microbiome will contribute to chronic illness. There can be so many examples, but microbiome will define whether we will respond to drug treatment or not. And based on microbiome only, there will be tailor-made medicine. Based on microbiome, there will definitely be personalized medicine concept. Probably you know this, personalized medicine concept. So, I discussed all these points, stable and resilient flora, and, is there core flora which we have in our body? This flora will definitely decide our susceptibility to certain infections. The one more question, the microbiome of the mother, will it affect the microbiome and health of the children? That's also one question to be answered by this project. And remember, genetic studies that measure the abundance of different species in our microbiome have linked various combinations of microbial species to our health conditions. So ultimately, our health is defined by that. And this will give us idea about developing new therapy. We will try to, identify what are bad bacteria and what are good bacteria for us. The HMP, this Human Microbiome Project, will serve as a roadmap related with our health, nutrition, and immunity. Now, see, this is quite beyond digesting food and producing vitamin. Remember this. So, these microbes not only doing this work, they're doing something great. They influence susceptibility to infectious diseases. They contribute to disorders, not only diseases, they contribute to obesity and diabetes. They will determine how we will respond to a particular drug treatment. So we have many times seen, the effect of drug is different in different individuals. Even two real brothers will show differences in this. The microbiome of the mother may even affect the health of her children. So all these are important aspects. The microbiome is essential for our development. And this bacteria, they are not invaders, mind well, they are beneficial colonizers. Okay, in this era of online teaching, we are acquainted to this type of disconnect. Many times this happens during our lecture also. So, without wasting a moment, I will proceed ahead. Yes. So, remember, my dear, the microbes are not invaders; they are beneficial colonizers. Our autoimmune diseases like diabetes, or that is juvenile diabetes rather, or RA, rheumatoid arthritis, or muscular dystrophy, or multiple sclerosis. All this, or fibromyalgia, they are associated with this microbiome, believe me. So if there is a change in microbiome, there can be change in the state of diabetes. Even disease-causing microorganisms, they accumulate over time. They will change the gene activity, they will change the metabolic processes, and this will result in the development or, relief from a disease. And remember, autoimmune diseases which appear to be passed in the families, it is not because of DNA. That is because of inheriting family's microbiome. આપણે એવું કહી છે કે જેનું અન્ન સરખું એના મન પણ સરખા. I think now you can connect to this. Because, if we eat similar food, we will develop similar microbiome. And therefore, we will develop similar thoughts. This is really આપણે એક બીજો વર્ડ યુઝ કરી છે, મારી ગટ ફિલિંગ મને આવું કંઈક કહે છે કે, તો હવે આ ગટ ફિલિંગ નો મિનિંગ સમજાઈ ગયો. The gut has a lot of microorganisms. Okay, see, these are some examples. So there are, twins, one is obese and one is lean. So obese twins have lower diversity of bacteria and higher level of enzymes. Any diversity ઓછી છે, microbial diversity. So obese twins, they are more efficient in digesting food and they will harvest calorie and they will become obese. જ્યારે પેલો દુબળો પતલો છે એની અંદર ના માઇક્રોબ્સ ની ડાયવર્સિટી વધારે છે અને માઇક્રોબ્સ ની મેટાબોલિક એફિશિયન્સી ઓછી છે. I think you can understand. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease associated with less diverse gut microbiome. તો આ માઇક્રોબાયોમ જેટલું ડાયવર્સિફાઈડ એટલી આપણી હેલ્થ કન્ડિશન સારી. અને ડાયવર્સિફાઈ કરવા માટે આપણે ડાયવર્સિફાઈડ ફૂડ ખાવું પડે, રાઈટ? રિમેમ્બર, ડસ્ટ ફ્રોમ હોમ્સ વિથ ડોગ્સ. ઇન શોર્ટ, જે પેટ એનિમલ ડોગ્સ આપણા ઘરમાં છે, બીકોઝ ઓફ ધેટ આપણને એલર્જી થવાના ચાન્સીસ ઓછા છે, બીકોઝ અવર બોડી ઇઝ એક્વેન્ટેડ ટુ ધીસ ટાઈપ ઓફ એલર્જન. ઓકે, હવે કન્સેપ્ટ છે, it looks bit absurd or disgusting, but it is fecal microbiota transplantation, FMT. Now remember, and medical science ma anu bahut important છે, FMT. So stool transplantation, fecal transplantation, અને આના કારણે there has been recovery in so many conditions. Example આપેલું છે Clostridium difficile infection, CDI. તો એ fecal microbiota transplantation થી ક્યોર થઈ ગયું. This can be done with the help of colonoscopy and enema from a healthy human donor. Certain other problems like colitis, constipation, or irritable bowel syndrome can be cured, can be treated just by transplanting the stool of the healthy individual. Okay. See, these are the microorganisms, and in the right side column you can read the list of the conditions which are actually created because of microbiome: asthma, allergy, diabetes, obesity, malnutrition, or Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, muscular dystrophy, or fibromyalgia, or multiple sclerosis. Actually, we know it as autoimmune disease, but there is a role of microbes. Even anxiety, depression, and schizophrenia. So now you can understand the importance. Now we'll go ahead how the microbiome can be analyzed. So this human microbiome sample can be analyzed by genomics and by proteomics both. DNA, 16S rRNA sequencing, okay, 16S rRNA gene sequencing, and total DNA sequencing. This can give you some result, and this will ultimately help you to find out which type of bacteria, archaea, fungi, yeast, viruses are there. And analysis of small molecules with the help of methods like mass spectrometry, that will help us to identify metabolomics. Ultimately, this genomics, microbiomics, and metabolomics, they're all connected. This will tell us what functions of community are there in our body. Now see, this is one article published in Smithsonian magazine. Just read the title and you will understand everything. There is a link between gut bacteria and depression. One of my ex-student is currently pursuing her postdoc research in Melbourne, in Swinburne University, and she has also come with certain conclusions like this. See, she is Shakuntala, and read the title: The Microbiome and Cognitive Aging. Cognitive aging, not the physical aging, cognitive aging. And there is a connection between microorganisms and our aging process. There is a connection between microbes and our intelligence, our mood, on our IQ. Okay. So it may be possible to treat a bacterial infection caused by bad microbes by replacing or promoting the growth of good microbes in our body. Example, microbiome transplants have already been done in diseases like caused by Clostridium difficile. So the components of human microbiome change over time, affected by a patient disease state and medication, and the microbiome returns to a state of equilibrium even though the composition of bacterial type has changed. Now, what are traditional and new perspectives? See, the interface of immune recognition of microbial antigens. Now, this microbiome is confined by surfaces of host compartments. Okay, so it is present in different compartments of our body. Okay, so immunology, metabolism, neurology, coevolution, all these aspects, they define our microbiome. There is a mutual relationship between host and microbes, immune balance, and defective gut or associated mesenteric lymphoid tissue. There is complete absence of bacteria in the gut in certain, notobiotic mouse model. So, આવા માઉસની અંદર જેની અંદર માઇક્રોબ્સ નહોતા એની અંદર બધી રીતે ડિફેક્ટ હતી, low level of IgA. Okay. Now this microbiota plays which functions in our body? They seal body spaces, okay? They mitigate intestinal pathogens, they maintain homeostasis in our tissues, they facilitate fermentation of dietary fiber like inulin or pectin, etc. They help in critical energy yield, they provide us metabolic products, they help in drug processing, they help in signaling among the cells and organ systems. For example, see, remember, microbiome changes as we mature. It changes with puberty, it changes during pregnancy, it changes with our diet changes. ઓકે, તો મે બી શ્રાવણ મહિનામાં આપણું માઇક્રોબાયોમ બદલાઈ જતું હશે, એટલે આપણો મૂડ વધારે સ્પિરિચ્યુઅલ થઈ જતો હશે. મે બી પોસિબલ, કારણ કે શ્રાવણમાં આપણે ઉપવાસ કરીએ, ઓર પર્યુષણ ફોર એક્ઝામ્પલ. મેડિકલ કન્ડિશન્સ એન્ડ ટ્રીટમેન્ટ્સની સાથે પણ માઇક્રોબાયોમ ચેન્જ થાય છે. ધ પેટ્સ will also define the microbiome, and many more factors may be responsible for this. Now, this microbiome changes, they occur, the kinds of microbes present, number of each type of microbe will define our microbiome, relative amount of each or the proportionate amount, kinds of active microbial genes, all this will ultimately decide that what changes in microbiome will occur. Now, certain questions related with this: what is the identity of the microbes that populate their host? What are these microbes doing in our body? How is the host responding to them? What are the forces that maintain equilibrium? And what are the unique characteristics of each individual? So these are the questions to be answered. But see this data. The relative proportion of bacterially produced short chain fatty acids. Now, one left side, it is the, the stool sample of healthy individual. On right side, it is the stool sample of the patient suffering from colorectal cancer. And you can see that acetic acid, which is produced by microbe, is higher. Propionic acid is higher in cancer patient. Butyric acid is lower, but all other acids, isobutyric and isovaleric acid, they are higher. So short chain fatty acids, they play some important role, and which are produced by microorganisms. And a drastical difference છે healthy અને cancer patient માં. એટલે હેલ્ધી અને કેન્સર પેશન્ટની અંદરના માઇક્રોબાયોમની એક્ટિવિટી પણ અલગ અલગ છે. We can say there is a change in the microbiome over time. તો અનબોર્ન થી લઈને બેબી, ન્યુલી બોર્ન, ટોડલર, એડલ્ટ અને એલ્ડરલી હ્યુમન બીંગ્સની અંદર which microorganisms are increasing in their number and what are decreasing, that is shown in this diagram. This is again very interesting. You can just take a time of a minute to read this, to understand this. And see, in the toddler, there is a difference in malnutrition, healthy individual, and thus the one who is taking antibiotic treatment. Adult ની અંદર પણ healthy અને obese લોકોમાં microbial flora અલગ-અલગ છે. તમે જુઓ છો, obese લોકોમાં proteobacteria, E. coli પણ proteobacteriaમાં જ આવે છે, ગામા proteobacteriaમાં આવે. તો એનું પ્રપોર્શન વધારે છે, હેલ્ધીમાં ઓછું છે. So there is a, nowadays there is a trend of microbiome diet plan. So diet plan is decided based on our microbiome, and diet plan is decided based on the development of good bacteria. We are aware with the words like prebiotic and probiotic. Okay, so this is the chart which gives you idea about human microbiome. More than 600 species in our lungs, more than 1,000 species in our intestine, more than 1,000 species on our skin, around 60 species in certain other genitourinary tract of our body, and in stomach where there is hyperacidic environment, there are around 25 species like Streptococcus thermophilus and Helicobacter pylori. They are found in our stomach flora also. Okay, so these are certain articles which I have captured for you related with human microbiome, published in various scientific magazines like Scientific Americans, etc., Nature. Okay, so what are the areas to be explored? Diet and microbiome, personalized nutrition, gut-brain axis. There is some relation between gut and brain, mind well. એ જાણવાનું બાકી છે. ઓમિક્સ ટેકનોલોજી, એ પણ એક એરિયા છે, એક્સપ્લોર કરવાનો છે. ક્લિનિકલ એફિકેસી ઓફ પ્રો એન્ડ પ્રીબાયોટિક્સ. પ્રોબાયોટિક is the one who helps the good microbes to grow, and prebiotic, probiotic, it is something like good microbes which we take in our body, and prebiotic will help to grow the good microorganisms in our body. Okay, there is one area, formulation methods for product stability, or educating the consumers, and what are infant microbiome and nutrition relationship, what is the importance of microbes in food chain. All these are important. In this chart you can see various microorganisms in different part of our body. So why should you care about your microbes? They will determine whether Tylenol is toxic to your liver or not. They will also tell you who to have sex with, particularly if you are a fruit fly, it's given here. પણ એ માઇક્રોબાયોમ થી નક્કી થશે કે આપણને કોની સાથે વાત કરવી ગમે છે, કોની સાથે ફ્રેન્ડશિપ. That is also probably one or other way defined by microorganisms. Okay, how many mosquitoes will come near you, that will also defined by microbes. તમે વાંચો નીચે રિસર્ચ પેપરનું ટાઇટલ છે, composition of human skin microbiota affects attractiveness to malaria mosquitoes. See, this is very interesting. Okay, and see this. Now here you can see Modi ji and Rahul ji. Any two human beings, if you pick, they have 99.9% identical genomes, whether one is belonging to NDA and one is belonging to UPA. They have 99.9 similarity in genomes, but two E. coli cells can have 40% differences in their genomes. See? Humans, even Trump and Biden may be having a lot of similarity in their DNA, but two E. coli will have variation. So these microbes are yet to be understood, yet to be known, yet to be explored. Okay, so we may be less unique as per genome, but we are highly unique as per our microbiome. Remember this. See, all this microbial diversity raises one question: how human are we actually? આપણી અંદર આપણા cells તો 10% છે. આપણી અંદર more than that, we have microorganisms in our body. 100 trillion human cells and 20,000 human genes. So microbiota is much more. Okay, you can see cells અને microbiota comparison છે. જ્યારે microbiota છે human genes કરતા અનેક ગણા microbial genes વધારે છે. Okay, environmental sequencing can also be done. This is metagenomics, and the project which was taken as a part of this was human gut ecology project. In this project, the entire information about our gut ecosystem was analyzed, and these are virome related answers. Virome means set of viruses, mycobiomes a set of fungi, and you can see different parts of our body, they have different fungal species. The methods like metagenomics and metaproteomics and metatranscriptomics, all these methods are nowadays taken to understand microbiome, and these are bioinformatics approaches of understanding microbiome. And in this chart, everything related with relationship among individual microorganisms in our entire microbiome, it is given in this. Okay, these are areas of clinical investigation: cardiovascular disorders or bowel disorder, obesity, allergic disorder. In these all disorders, microbes play roles. Even immune signaling માં શું role છે જાણવાનું છે, metabolic processing માં શું role છે, we yet to understand. And remember, our womb is also not sterile. There are placenta, amniotic fluid, cord blood, and all this, they have one or other kind of chances of development of flora, microbial flora. So because we are going to finish 1 hour, I'm just skipping certain slides and coming to the end. I already explained the word prebiotic and probiotic. In atherosclerosis, that is, in cardiovascular disease, there is a role of microbes, mind well. In obesity, there is a role of microbes. All these things are proven facts. In chronic bowel inflammation, there is a role of microbes. And in last, you will find some information about fecal transplantation. See, the stool sample or the fecal material from one healthy individual can be transplanted to another individual. And this can result in some miracle. There are so many questions which are yet to be answered. So many things are there related with this. And certain ethical issues. This data, koi random sampling thi, ke koi representative loko thi, consent લીધી છે, data sharing protection, privacy નું શું, invasiveness of taking the samples, and are these results given back to the participants or volunteers? So this is, there are a lot of social implications also. Clinical settings માં use થશે, probiotics regulation માટે, public understanding. How could this information change conceptions of health and disease? But mind well, this information is going to change a lot of conceptions related to our food habits. So fecal transplantation, it looks like yolk factor, આપણને ન ગમે, નાકનું ટીચકું ચડી જાય, but this is a fact. એનાથી ઘણું result મળેલ છે. Okay. So we want to come to the conclusion that we have different body types, different populations, we are different, but microbes can cause large differences in our phenotype. And prospects for personalized medicines will come in the way. So that is all about this microbiome. So with this, I want to finish the first session